Imagine a world where projects are left to chance, with no structure or direction, where tasks are assigned with the organizational clarity of a drunken darts tournament, a world where deadlines are more like suggestions, budgets are treated like drunken bar tabs, and success is about as likely as finding a sober person at a Weatherspoons on a Friday night. Today, we explore the potential consequences of life without project management. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. It's messier than Boris Johnson's hair after a particularly windy bike ride. Now imagine you're working on a project. You're told to just get it done. But nobody can tell you exactly what it is, who you're working with, or when done is supposed to happen. It'd be like trying to herd cats if those cats were also on fire and spoke different languages. That's the reality of a project without defined roles, responsibilities, and clear communication. Individuals end up working in silos, duplicating effort, and chasing conflicting priorities, all while the clock is ticking and the budget is burning. It's enough to make you want to tear your hair out, or at least someone else's. We've all been there, staring down the barrel of a deadline, wondering how we got here. But without proper planning and resource allocation, it's not a question of if you'll miss deadlines, but by how much. It's like trying to sail across the Atlantic in a bathtub. You might eventually get there, but it's going to take a lot longer and cost you a lot more than you planned. And the worst part, without monitoring and progress tracking, you're essentially flying blind. You won't know you're in trouble until you're already up to your neck in it. Remember that time you ordered a pizza and it arrived cold with pineapple on it, even though you specifically asked for no pineapple? That's what happens when you don't have established quality control measures in place. Without rigorous reviews and feedback loops, project deliverables are about as consistent as British weather in April. One minute it's sunny, the next you're caught in a hailstorm of errors, inconsistencies, and missed opportunities. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be the one who delivers the metaphorical pineapple pizza. Imagine going to work every day feeling like you're lost in a labyrinth with no map, no compass, and the only sound is the faint echo of your own confusion. That's the reality of working in an environment without structure or direction. The lack of clarity leads to frustration, overwhelm, and a general sense of what's the bloody point. Morale plummets faster than a lead balloon in a wind tunnel, and productivity follows close behind. It's a recipe for disaster, or at least a very awkward office Christmas party. Remember that time you got into an argument with a stranger on the internet about whether a Jaffa cake is a biscuit or a cake? Now imagine that, but with your colleagues, every single day. Without clear communication and conflict resolution mechanisms, even the smallest disagreements can escalate into full-blown office wars. Negativity festers like a forgotten cheese sandwich under a radiator, poisoning the work environment and making collaboration about as enjoyable as a root canal. Remember Blockbuster Video? Yeah, well, they didn't believe in adapting to change either. Without a structured approach to identifying and evaluating new ideas, organizations risk becoming the Blockbuster of their industry. They become so focused on doing things the way they've always been done, that they miss out on opportunities for innovation and growth. It's like trying to win a Formula One race with a horse and cart. You might get some laughs, but you're not going to win any trophies. Chapter 7. Difficulty in scaling and growing. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper with no blueprints, no foundation, and a bunch of builders who only speak emoji. That's what it's like trying to scale a business without well-defined processes and knowledge sharing. Without a solid framework in place, growth becomes chaotic and unsustainable. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It's not going to end well for anyone involved. Chapter 8. Reputational damage. In the age of social media, a bad reputation can spread faster than a rumor in a schoolyard. And when projects consistently fail to meet expectations, it's not just the project team that suffers, it's the entire organization's reputation. Clients become wary, partners jump ship, and investors run for the hills. It's like trying to sell a used car with a "Caution may spontaneously combust" sign on it. You might find a buyer, but it's not going to be easy. Chapter 9. Lack of accountability and ownership. Remember that time you were a kid and you blamed your sibling for breaking something even though it was totally you? That's what happens when there's a lack of accountability in a project. Without clear roles and responsibilities, it becomes a free-for-all of finger-pointing and blame-shifting. Nobody takes ownership, and the project suffers as a result. It's like a game of hot potato. But instead of a potato, it's a ticking time bomb of responsibility that nobody wants to hold. Imagine making the same mistake over and over again, like a broken record of incompetence. That's the reality of a project without proper tracking and analysis. Without learning from past mistakes, organizations are doomed to repeat them, leading to a vicious cycle of inefficiency and missed opportunities. It's like trying to learn to ride a bike without ever taking off the training wheels. You might make some progress, but you're never going to reach your full potential. Imagine a world where you have a team of talented chefs, but you keep giving them the wrong ingredients. That's what inefficient resource allocation looks like. It's like trying to conduct a symphony orchestra where everyone is playing different instruments at different tempos. It's a cacophony of chaos, and it's about as effective as trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Imagine setting sail on a voyage without a map, compass, or any knowledge of navigation. That's what it's like embarking on a project without a structured approach to risk management. You're essentially sailing blindfolded into a hurricane of potential problems with no plan for how to navigate them. It's a recipe for disaster, or at least a very expensive rescue mission. The only constant in life is change, and the same goes for projects. But without a structured approach to change management, organizations risk becoming dinosaurs in a rapidly evolving world. They cling to outdated plans and processes, unable to adapt to new information, shifting priorities, or unexpected challenges. Look, we've just taken a deep dive into the chaotic abyss of a world without project management. It wasn't pretty, was it? But don't despair. Even without meticulously crafted Gantt charts and agile sprints, success is still within reach. The key is to find that sweet spot between structure and flexibility, to communicate like your project depends on it, because it does, and to never stop learning and improving.